Ella the Elephant, a story of teamwork, perseverance, and friendship, in the heart of a vast African savanna, where the golden grass rippled like waves in the wind, lived a wise and gentle elephant named Ella. Ella was the matriarch of her herd, and her strength, wisdom, and caring heart made her the perfect leader for the elephants. She always knew the best paths to the watering holes and the safest places to rest, and she cared deeply for every member of her herd. Ella's best friends were Kito the Rhino and Tala the Antelope, and the three of them often met at the big baobab tree to chat and share stories of their adventures across the savannah. Ella loved spending time with her friends, but her responsibilities to the herd always came first. One year, the rainy season was late, and the watering hole started to dry up much earlier than usual. The grass was turning brown, and there was less food for the animals. The elephants were becoming worried, as they needed water not only to drink but also to bathe and cool themselves down under the hot sun. "We need to find water soon," Ella said one evening as she gathered her herd. "The watering holes nearby are drying up, and we can't stay here much longer. We'll have to make a long journey to the big river if we're going to survive." The big river was far away, and the journey would be tough, especially with the younger elephants and the older members of the herd. But Ella knew they had no choice. The next morning, Ella set out with her herd. She led the way, her enormous feet making deep prints in the dry earth as they marched toward the distant river. Her friends Kito and Tala joined them, eager to help however they could. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, the journey became more difficult. The heat was intense, and the ground beneath them was hard and cracked. The young elephants, like little Zuri, began to tire, and the older elephants, like Mzi, started to slow down. Seeing her herd struggling, Ella called for a break. The elephants gathered in the shade of a tall acacia tree, but the worry was clear on their faces. "How much farther, Ella?" Zuri asked, her small trunk drooping with exhaustion. "We still have a long way to go," Ella replied gently. "But don't worry. We'll get there if we stay together and help one another." As they rested, Kito the Rhino noticed something unusual. He stomped his heavy feet on the ground and tilted his head. "Ella, come here," he said, his voice low and serious. Ella walked over, her ears flapping. "What is it, Kito?" "There's water underground," Kito said. "I can feel it. If we can dig deep enough, we might be able to find a well of water to help us until we reach the river." Ella's eyes brightened with hope. "That's a great idea, Kito. Let's work together to dig and see if we can find some water for the herd." And so, Ella, Kito, and the rest of the herd began to dig. The ground was hard and dry, but Ella's strong tusks and Kito's powerful horn helped break through the earth. Tala the antelope ran back and forth, helping gather the smaller animals to dig alongside them. As they worked, the younger elephants, like Zuri, began to feel hopeful again. The herd worked together, their large feet and trunks pushing aside dirt and rocks, determined to find the water beneath the surface. Hours passed, and just when some of the herd started to lose hope, there was a sudden sound of rushing water. Splash! A small stream of water burst through the ground, and soon a pool began to form. "We did it!" Zuri cheered, her trunk raised in excitement. The elephants rushed forward, splashing in the cool water, drinking deeply and playing together. Ella smiled as she watched her herd come back to life. The water they had found was enough to keep them going for a few more days, and now they could continue their journey to the big river with renewed strength. The herd set off again the next morning, and this time, they moved with more energy and hope. The teamwork they had shown while digging for the water had brought them closer together, and now they knew they could face any challenge. As they walked, Ella spoke to Zuri and the other young elephants. "Today, you've learned an important lesson. Sometimes the journey is tough, but if we work together and never give up, we can accomplish anything." Zuri nodded, her small eyes wide with admiration. "I'll always remember that, Ella. You never gave up, and you made sure we were all okay." Ella's heart warmed. "It wasn't just me, Zuri. We all helped each other. That's what being part of a herd means. We take care of one another." After several more days of walking, the herd finally reached the big river. The wide, Flowing water sparkled under the sun, and the grass around it was lush and green. The elephants trumpeted with joy as they rushed toward the river, drinking deeply and bathing in the cool, refreshing water. Ella stood on the riverbank, her heart filled with pride. Her herd had made it through the toughest journey of their lives, not just because of her leadership, but because of their perseverance and teamwork. Kito and Tala joined her at the riverbank, smiling at their accomplishment. "We wouldn't have made it without your wisdom, Ella," Tala said. "You kept us going when things were tough." Ella shook her head. "It was all of us working together that got us here. We're stronger when we stand together." From that day on, the animals of the savannah remembered the journey to the big river as a story of teamwork, courage, and perseverance. They knew that no matter how hard things became, as long as they worked together and never gave up, they could overcome any obstacle. Ella the elephant continued to lead her herd with kindness and strength, always reminding them of the importance of helping one another and standing tall through any challenge. And every time they passed the spot where they had dug for water, the elephants would stop and remember the lesson they had learned, that no matter how difficult the journey, anything is possible with teamwork and perseverance.